Hey guys, Bob Saget here, and I'm here to teach you how to use the Alchemy system. Alright, let's get right down into it. First thing, we're going to be clicking this flower here, and actually before I go into this, let me go ahead and give you a brief example of what this is. Basically, the player will be able to find and locate harvestable plants. They'll be denoted with a white ring. The player will be able to harvest this plant, get it into their inventory, and then walk around for a bit, play the game, and then be able to come back to this location and that plant would have regrown. With these ingredients, the player is able to use an alchemy station and craft different potions as they find recipes throughout the world. Okay, with that said, now let's jump into it. So, first thing here is a Rose Blossom 1. Simply name of the plant, harvest. When they choose to harvest, we can set a variable that we make called plant1 equal to the amount of steps the player takes. Then we add a number to that. I've added 50. What that means is that in this demo, every 50 steps you walk, that plant will regrow. And we'll get to that in a second. But you can make this 1,000, 3,000, however many steps you want your player to take until it regrows. After that, you receive the Rose Blossom, change the item, Rose Blossom +1, self-switch A on. Make sure this is parallel process, below character, no graphic. This conditional branch here does not have an else, therefore, since it's parallel process, this will constantly repeat itself. First thing we do is make a variable called steps, and now that variable is going to be equal to the amount of steps the player takes. And it's constantly updated, so every time you take a step, this will be updated. The next thing, now, when our steps variable is greater than or equal to the plant1 variable that we made on the previous page, showing that you have walked the designated amount of steps, we turn plant1 variable to 0, set the event location of a plant light, and turn our control switch off, which brings back our first event. Now you might be wondering, plant light, what's that? Let's get to it. Basically what this event shows you here, sorry about that, direct designation, it puts it on top of the plant there, as you can see. So just make sure your plant lights are right above your plant. Now the plant lights are below, down here, all these little white rings. It's simply the name of the plant light, the graphic, and that's it. Nothing special. Very easy. And those are plants. Now, with the plant lights, there is something that you need to know or understand. Basically, whenever you enter a room or a dungeon, it'll mess up your events. Like, for example, if I were to walk out, this waterfall event is going to be all the way over here by the cave, which is not supposed to. To solve this, we created something called plant areas. So, for example, fields, this fields map is my plant area 1, plant light area 1, while this cave map has an area of 2. And you can see that in this event in the top right hand corner. When they enter this map, it turns A2 off and A1 on, signifying they're entering the fields. And in cave up here in the corner, you can see it turns A1 off and A2 on, signifying that they're entering the cave. This is very important because it adjusts your different plant lights accordingly. Now, all of this works through a common event. And for each area that you have, such as my fields and the cave, you're going to need a separate plant light area. So let's say there's like 7 or 8 plants, sorry about the beep, 7 or 8 plants in the field area and 3 in the cave. You can see that here in our conditional branch, in our common event, I'm sorry. So basically what this is saying is we're going to be focusing on these two parts. Basically, each block of that is the same, just a different plant. This states that when variable plant1 equals 0, which essentially means that the plant has not been harvested yet, we're going to change the opacity of the particular event. It's not going to show it here because I'm in the cave map at the moment, but you can see here it'll show it here. So I'll just use this one as the example. It sets a move root of the plant light that's associated with that plant, and it makes it fully visible at 255. And then it sets its location on top of the plant itself. Next, it checks to see if that same plant, plant 3, is greater than or equal to 1. And that basically means the plant has been harvested. Because when you harvest it, plant 3 is set to the amount of steps you take, which is definitely always going to be equal to or greater than 1. And if that's the case, it changes the opacity to 0. And this all happens constantly when you harvest for each of the plants. So depending on which one meets the particular criteria, that's what the plant light will show. And we have that for Area 2 and Area 1, and if you go into the demo, there's an explanation here that breaks down each part for you. Okay, now finally onto the final part. Oh, and all the events are here too with comments in them for you to check as well. Final part, we get to the system itself, the Alchemy system. And as you can see, this top right has the plant light A1 off as well, to signify that you're no longer in a plant light area. So you need this too, even if there is no plant light area on the map. Okay, Alchemy, these are all the same. Don't worry about that, just the player has the option. Click this one. 2 different pages, very simple. First, it sets a variable, and this particular variable is called Potion Making Tier 1, and it sets that variable to 0. Welcome to the Alchemy Station. Checks to see if you have a minor health potion in your inventory. If you do, it gives you a +2. Depending on which item you have, it's going to give you 2, 4, 6, or 11. I chose these numbers specifically because they all add together to make different numbers if you only have 2 or 3 or whatever. So it's great to determine like a number 2 through 25, what combination you have. And you'll see that later. If they have it, they get a +2. And then if they have it, it says jump to label has Poison Cloud, which is the next conditional branch. Oh, do you have Poison Cloud? If they don't have this minor health potion, it jumps to the else, do you have Poison Cloud? So no matter what, it's always going to take you through each of the 4 items, adding the respective number each time. Minor health potion is 2, Poison Cloud is 4, Antidote is 6, Drought of Dreams is 11, and they each have their own label, has Antidote, has Dreams, etc. After we're all done, we turn control switch A on. The funny part about this is this used to be like 7 pages long. I managed to condense it to 2. It's really funny. Alright, our final page here. Below characters, parallel process. The parallel process is the only one that really matters here. Now we're basically going to be checking these branches, these numbers. Is potion making tier 1 equal to 2? If so, what potion would you like to create? Minor health potion or cancel? Basically, it knows now that when the number 2 is drawn using this system here, that you only have the minor health potion, and so that's the only option it will give you. Because you can't create potions that you don't know. It's common. And now basically, this is pretty simple here. We have a variable called item amount. It gets equal to the amount of the particular item in your inventory that you need to craft this minor health potion. In this case, we need 2 rose blossoms and 1 folly leaf. So it checks, it equals item amount to the rose blossom, and then it checks to see if that item amount is greater than or equal to 2. If it is, we control the variable item amount. Well, if it is, then we know that we're good. But just so you know, if it says else, oh, you don't have enough ingredients because we don't have enough. But then it's just going to move on to the next one, the folly leaves. Checks to see, equals item amount to folly leaves. Checks to see if it's greater than or equal to 1, which is what we need. If it is, then we go ahead and subtract the 2 rose blossoms from earlier, the 1 folly leaf we just used. Add a minor health potion, give a little text, turn a soft switch A off. If they didn't have the folly leaf, it would say, oh, you don't have enough ingredients, so we come back. We do it this way, so that way we just take everything out at once, and we don't have to be like, oh, they have enough rose blossoms, let's take those out, but then they don't have enough folly leaves, so let's give them the rose blossoms back. It just gets confusing. This is a lot easier. And then A off. When they choose cancel, turns A off. Else, and then we're going down to our next number. This number is 4. If it equals 4, it knows they only have the antidote. Same thing for each potion, equal to the amount of rose blossoms or tainted spore that you're going to be needing for that particular antidote, etc., etc., etc. All the way down here. We'll scroll down to here. Potion making tier is equal to 13. That means that the player has a minor health potion and a draw to dreams. So you can see that with this system, it's easy to the player can go around, click what they want, when they want, how they want, and just walk into the alchemy station and be able to create what they have. The only issue with this system, and I don't really think it's an issue at all, is you're going to have to make tiers. So this system can only support 4 potions at the moment. You can go ahead and add more, all you like. This page is going to get rather long, however, but that's up to you. But I feel like the 4 with the 4 numbers that I have, it fits nicely. It does well. So for each new level you can go into, you can add in a new alchemy station. This is a level 2 alchemy station. Or you can even say, do you want to make level 1 potions or level 2 potions? And then go ahead and make all the events and make a huge alchemy event. But yeah, that's basically it. That's the gist of the system. Go ahead and download the demo. Tell me what you think. Comment. Pass it on to your friends. And thanks for checking out my tutorial here in RPG Maker VXA's forums. And have a wonderful day. Thanks a lot.